You did not learn how to live. You learned how to survive. And those are not the same thing. That is your first truth. Many people think they are living, but they are managing damage. Managing stress, managing expectations, managing disappointment, managing fear. And after long enough, they mistake survival for life. Think about that. Because survival has one goal: get through today. Life has a different goal: experience it. And most people stopped doing that a long time ago. Not because they wanted to, because survival became necessary. That is where the trap begins. At first, survival saves you. After heartbreak, loss, failure, rejection, it helps you keep moving. It protects you. It keeps you safe. And that is exactly why it becomes dangerous. Because the problem is not that survival failed. The problem is that survival worked. That is your second truth. Many people are fighting battles that ended years ago. Read that again. The threat is gone, but the defense remains. Your mind never received the message that the danger is over. So it keeps preparing, keeps protecting, keeps defending against a threat that no longer exists. That is how survival works. It does not ask whether the danger is real. It only asks whether the danger was remembered. And remembered pain can control a life long after the event is over. That is why some people still expect abandonment from people who never plan to leave. Still expect betrayal from people who have done nothing wrong. Still prepare for failure before they have even begun. Not because reality demands it, because survival taught them to. And survival lessons are difficult to unlearn because they worked. That is what makes them dangerous. The things that protected you once can quietly become the walls of your prison. That is your third truth. The most dangerous battles are often the ones you already won. Because those are the battles you never stop fighting. Survival never asks, "Are you happy?" Survival only asks, "Are you safe?" And safety can become addictive. Because safety feels responsible. Safety feels mature. Safety feels intelligent. But eventually, safety becomes limitation. Because survival teaches caution, life requires participation. Survival teaches control. Life requires uncertainty. Survival teaches protection. Life requires vulnerability. And those two systems cannot fully coexist That is why some people feel disconnected from their own lives. Not because life is empty, because survival mode filters everything through danger. Every opportunity, every relationship, every possibility. The question becomes, what could go wrong? Instead of, what could be possible? And that changes everything. Because eventually, you stop building a life. You start building defenses. That is your fourth truth. Some people are not exhausted because life is hard. They are exhausted because survival mode never turns off. Imagine running an emergency system for 10 years straight. Of course you're tired. Your body thinks the danger is still here, even when it isn't. That is why rest often feels uncomfortable. Peace feels suspicious. Calm feels unfamiliar. Because survival trained you to expect the next problem. And without a problem, you no longer know who to be. That is a frightening realization. Because deep down, most already know. They don't remember the last time they felt truly present. Not productive, not distracted, not entertained. Present. That is your fifth truth. You cannot build a meaningful life while treating every day like an emergency. Because emergencies are meant to be survived. Life is meant to be lived, and those are very different skills. The goal was never to stay in survival mode forever. Survival was supposed to get you through the storm, not become your home. And maybe that is the question you need to ask yourself now. Are you still surviving something that already ended? Want more truths like this? Subscribe now. Most people avoid hearing them. Because most people would rather master survival than learn how to live. In the next episode, we'll expose the difference between surviving and truly living, because most people learned one, but never learned the other. This channel isn't here to motivate you. It's here to help you see differently. And people who see things differently don't watch once, they stay.